So when you go through these parshas, starting throughout the whole Mechiras Yosef, you go through the Shibud in Mitzrayim, so there are a lot of lessons and themes that a person can take out. And there's one in particular, I think, that goes straight through, and not only stops after the Shibud, but goes straight through all the rest of Chumash, and straight through Nach, and our history till this very day. And that's what I want to discuss, this theme that we're going to see. So let's begin our tale of two brothers. Our tale begins actually in Parshas Vayeshev, where the brothers, for whatever reason, decide they have to sell Yosef. Yosef needs to be sold. And they sell him down to Mitzrayim, and Yosef, we know, as the story progresses, he rises to power, becomes king of Mitzrayim, and a great famine breaks out in the land. And all the Yidden and everybody in the world has to go down to Mitzrayim to get food, and all the Yidden go down, the brothers go down to Mitzrayim, and Yosef's in power. He realizes he has to fulfill the dreams, he has to get Binyamin down there, right? He needs 11 brothers, he only has 10 down there. So what does he say? He accuses them of being spies. He says, Meraglim atem, you're spies. And they say, no, we're not. We're all from one family, etc., etc. So Yosef says like this, okay, if you really want to prove that you're not spies, go back, bring down this brother Binyamin, and prove to me that you're not spies. So now, he says like this, I'm afraid that they're going to bring an imposter and say that he's Binyamin. They're just going to bring some guy off the street. So what does he do? He takes one of the brothers hostage. He says, I'm taking one of your brothers, and to make sure that if you bring back somebody who's not Binyamin, this guy will know, this one will know. Who does he take? So he takes, if you look at Pasuk on page 1, just Pasuk Yechav Dalet, it's circled over there, Vayisav me'aleihem vayevk, and Yosef cried, Vayesh v'aleim vaydaber aleim vayikach mitam es Shimon. He takes Shimon vayeser oisai le'einehim, and he takes Shimon for by himself. Fine. So then what happens? They go back. He fills up their bags, and then skip down to Pasuk Chav Zayin, the last Pasuk. Vayiftach ha'echad esakai. Let's say, and I didn't do the rest of the Pasuk. To the one ha'echad, the one opens up his bag to look inside it, and what happens? They see that the money is in his bag. Who is this ha'echad? Who is this one? So look at Rashi on the bottom line, please. There's a dot next to it. Vayiftach ha'echad hu Levi shenishar yachid mishimon ben zugo. And this refers to Levi, who was left by himself from Shimon, his partner. Right? Throughout the whole Torah, they're called Shimon and Levi, and now all of a sudden they're separated. As soon as they're separated, he's called not even Levi. He's called Ha'echad, the one. No identity anymore. He's got this, fine. Question is, why did the Torah have to say Ha'echad? What's this? The Torah is trying to tell us something. The Torah could have just easily said, Vayitach Levi esakai. What is the Torah trying to tell us when it tells us Vayitach Ha'echad, Davka? So to answer this, we should answer a more basic question. Why did he take Shimon out of all his brothers? He had 10 brothers to choose from, right? So why Dafka Shimon? Why did he specifically take Shimon? So this Rashi also addresses, and that's the Rashi above this, as Shimon. So Rashi gives a number of reasons. One, hu hishlicha labor. He was the one who threw Yosef into the pit. Hu shamar lo Levi hine bal hachalamis halazabah. He was the one who said to Levi, oh, look, here's the dreamer. The dreamer is coming. Davar Acher, so these two reasons, he knew that Shimon didn't, had something up his sleeve for him. Shimon didn't have the best of feelings for him. Davar Acher, says Rashi, Niskaven Yosef lahafrido mi Levi. Yosef wanted to separate him from Levi. Why? Because Shemi Yisyatu Shneim la'aragosai, because maybe they would both gang up together and they would want to kill him. So therefore he wanted to separate Shimon from Levi. So let's go into this inyan of lahafrido mi Levi. Right? So, to answer this, what does this mean, lahafrido? You want to separate them? What's this Indian of separating the two? Just, So, like this. This past parsha, we read Parshas Vayechi. We read the brachas that Yaakov gave to all the sons. Right? And if you look on, I think it's page 2, you look at the first two brachas that he gives to, we're not going to go through them, but the first two brachas that he gives to Reuben and Shimon, we start looking at these things, we're like, is Yaakov really blessing these children, or is he cursing them out? Right? It says, Reuben, pachas kamayim, you're a little bit unstable. Right? And Shimon and Levi, you guys have, anger management. You guys really have to go to anger, get your anger under control. So what's going on over here? Are these brachas or are these klolos? What's Yaakov doing over here? So there are many truths I'm given, but I'd like to answer these with two stories. One is the story that the Reb Hanuch Teller, who knows he's a famous author, so he once had a Rebbe for his son, and all the kids loved the Rebbe. There's just one problem. The guy never mastered the art of personal hygiene. The guy stunk, this, that, and the kids always made fun of him behind his back. They always laughed at him, they always made fun of him. One day Rabbi Teller walks into the room after everybody leaves, and he has a bag, and he puts the bag on the table, he takes, this is shampoo, this is deodorant, this is a toothbrush, this is toothpaste, let me show you how to use all these things. This guy's like standing there, what are you doing? So he said, look, you're a great Rebbe, and the kids all love you. But you know what? They're making fun of you behind your back. And I can't stand it. I can't stand that this is going on. You're a great guy. So I want to help you out. So let me teach you how to do this. That's one. Okay, another mashal that might apply, you might see this happen who knows how many times in your life. Guy, steps out of using the facilities, and he comes out and there's a piece of toilet paper on his shoe. And he's walking around like that. And it's very embarrassing. But nobody wants to tell him why not. Because I don't want to embarrass the guy. Who's the only person that goes over to him and says, by the way, you have a piece of toilet paper on your shoe? It's the guy who's really his friend. The one who really loves you is going to be the one to tell you, I love you so much. I have such great feelings for you. You're messing something up. You're messing this up. I want to help you out. I want to tell you what to do right. You're doing something wrong. Let me help you out. I'm going to tell you what's wrong. So that's what Yaakov's doing to Reuben, Shimon, and Levi. I tell you, I love you. You're my children. And you have these faults. And I want to help you out. I want to tell you how to fix yourself up. You could do better. You could be a better person. So let me help you out. So let's get to Shimon and Levi. What's the first thing Yaakov says in Pasuk Hey? Shimon and Levi, Achim, your brothers. Now, we just said before, this might be a curse. This is a good thing or this is a bad thing. So this depends. It could be a good thing. If what? If we both strengthen each other. If we both tell each other, like we were just saying, I want to strengthen you in your midos, and you want to strengthen me in my midos. I tell you what's wrong, you tell me what's wrong. We can grow together. Then being brothers is the best thing. But if we're going to be this pair of Shimon and Levi, who are going to gang up on a whole city of Shechem, or for whatever reason, and we're going to try maybe plan to kill Yosef, and we're going to, we have this unhealthy behavior of our anger and we don't really tell each other, by the way, we should really, try and help each other out over here, but we become this pair and we try and gang up on everybody else and we, increase our bad behavior, then Yaakov says the biggest bracha I can give you is Achalkim b'Yisrael. That's my bracha to you, Achalkim. Split apart. Stay apart, because if you stay together with this type of relationship, you're never going to figure out who you truly are and what your kaiches truly are, what your potential is. You're always just going to do what the other one's doing. You're never going to be your own person. Yosef saw this. Yosef knew that he had to keep Shimon and Levi separate, because if he kept them together, they wouldn't be able to reach this potential. And this is the message Yaakov gave over to them later on. And this is a message that Levi took with him for the rest of his life. Ad kidei kach. That Shimon's away from him. And they're not so far away. How far away were they? They just went a couple miles away, let's say. And they're in a hotel by themselves, and Levi's by himself without Shimon. The Torah says you're not even Levi anymore. You're ha-echad. You are going to remain the individual. Nothing to do anymore with Shimon. You're not going to go with this relationship. You are going to remain the individual. And this is a theme that not only stops there, but this is a theme that's going to go with Levi for the rest of his life. And this is the point I want to bring out. It says Shimon and Levi, but we're going to see it's more about Levi, and we'll get back to Shimon soon. So that's Parshas Vayeshev. Comes Vayigash, and Yosef reveals himself to the brothers. And I didn't photocopy this. Yosef reveals himself to the brothers. We're going to fast forward a little. He reveals himself to the brothers, and he says, to come down and stay where? Stay in Eretz Goshen. Stay in Goshen. Tell the Mitzrayim that you're what? That you're shepherds. Why? Why should you tell the Mitzrayim that you're shepherds? Because that's a to'eva to the Mitzrayim. It's disgusting. They don't like shepherds. So what? We should go to Paro and say, hi, we're disgusting to you. You have to say, no, I'm giving you a good piece of advice. Stay separate in Goshen. Stay true to your values, stay true to the Torah, and stay separate in Goshen. Don't get mixed up with this society in Mitzrayim, which was at that point the most immoral country in the world. Don't get involved. Stay separate. Stay by yourself. Stay in Goshen. And what happened? This worked for a generation. This taka worked. But fast forward to this week's parsha, what happened? The next generation, what happened? They started to get involved. The Medrash says that they started to get involved in their theaters, and they started to go to their stadiums and everything else. Now if you look on page 3, the Beis Halevi says like this. Why did they do all this? What was the reason for integrating into society? So the Beis Halevi says that they had an unbelievable reason. I'll just read the Beis Halevi. It's a short one, number 3 on the bottom. He says, Rak ha'inyan yuvan. To explain the matter, DNA Misaras Hayabi Adam, they had a Messiah, Shetrichim Shishtabah Mitzrayim Arba Me'ashana. They knew they had to be in Mitzrayim for 400 years. Right? The Bris Ben Absarim. Va'achar Shemes Yosef, and after Yosef died, Hevinu Kulam, they all understood, Asher Yimei Ashibad Mimashvashim Muvayim. They understood, it's going to start, Me'ati Yaskal Avalos. We're in for another 400 years. So what happened? They started to worry. And they started to worry, what's going to be with our future? What's going to happen to us? Because Who knows 300 years later how the Mitzrayim are going to act towards them? We're in for the long haul. So Bikshu Eitzah Lazeh. They decided, okay, we have to come up with an Eitzah for this. V'skimu be'eitzah. This is the plan. This is the plan on how to save ourselves from the shibud, or to make it lighter. L'chalapachos. Lihiskarev lahamitzriyim v'lolios muvdalim mehem harbe. To come closer, to join up with the Mitzrayim, and not to remain separate. Don't stay in Goshen. V'shaloyu nikarim b'neim kigerim b'nachim. We don't want to look like we're immigrants. Yan b'iskarvas hagufim iskarva alavavas v'tismar asina. Because if we get closer to them and we become part of their society, we integrate ourselves into their society, they'll like us more. We'll be one of them. They'll like us. And the Beis HaLevi, take it to wherever you want to go. Ubavadai asher al pi seichel ha'enoshi kein hu hanachan. The Beis HaLevi says, don't think this is so far out. Seichel ha'enosh, proper seichel dictates that this was the right way to go. That you go out into society, you integrate, people start to like you more and more. Who was the only one who stood up to this? Who was the only one who did not go along with this plan? Who was the only one who was not involved in the shibud? Shevet Levi. Shevet Levi were not involved in the shibud at all. Shevet Levi stayed in Goshen. Shevet Levi stayed by themselves. And Derech Agav, it's interesting to point out, out of all the Shvatim, out of all the brothers, Levi is the one who lived the longest. Levi was alive the longest. He was the last one to be nifter. So it's just very interesting to note that he was the one who was around the longest. What happened though? What happened in the end with the shibud? Vayakutzim b'nei Yisrael. They got disgusted. David HaMelech in Kapitel Kufay says, Hafach libam lisnai amai. He turned around their hearts to hate his nation. It's like this. One day they were our friends, the next day was like that. But it wasn't as gradual. Parah came out one day with a golden brick on Medrash tells us, and he said like this, I'm calling upon all loyal citizens, all those who love their country, to help me with a big building project. Our good friend Yosef the Jew, who in such his great, we don't have words to show our gratitude, saved our country from world famine, from tremendous famine, and now we have all these storehouse cities of grains, but we don't need them anymore. We have plenty of tevuah. Now we have to put all our gold that we amassed, we have to put all our riches, we have to put that somewhere. We need to rebuild these cities of Pisom and Ramses, and I'm calling on all those who love their country, all those loyal citizens, to come and help out with this building project. Who were the first ones to come? Jews. The Yidden showed up. The Yidden said, yeah, we're going to come. They even offered to pay them for the work. The Yidden said, yeah, we're going to come. We're going to help out. Who didn't show up to the job? Levi. And what do you think happened? All the Yidden said, Levi, what are you doing? What's the government going to say about us? What are they going to say about us? You know what this is going to create? It's going to create anti-Semitism. This is going to create this is not the Eitzah we all agreed upon. This is not the way to go through a shibud. And Levi said, I'm sorry. I have a Messiah from my father that I stay in Goshen. And what are they going to say? They're going to say what they always say about Jews. No matter what we do. That's the reality of the situation. No matter what we do, that's what they're going to say about us. So Levi stays by himself. What eventually happens? In the end, it's too late. They stop paying them. Eventually they take away the several liberties, and the rest is history. We go through a shibud. And the only one who's not in the shibud at all, Shevet Levi, staying in Goshen. Moshe and Aaron are allowed to go wherever they want. Why? They're not meshubah. They're not in the shibud anymore. Let's fast forward to the Parshas Kisisa. Chet HaEgel. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up for 40 days, right? Now we're going to skip this Beis HaLevi, although it's a very, very important one. There are two of them. Anybody has time, very important, page 4 and 4a. But we're going to go to the Parshas Kisisa. Be'egel Azav. Moshe goes up for 40 days to receive the Torah, and through a miscalculation, the Bnei Yisrael are getting worried. Where's Moshe? He's not coming down yet. He's not back yet. And the Erev Rav says, let's make an Egel Azav. And they throw it into the fire, and out comes an Egel Azav. And they get Klal Yisrael to be chayte with the Egel. Who's the only one who's sitting up there saying, this is wrong, Rabbi? So what are you doing? Just wait for Moshe Rabbeinu. Just wait. What are you doing? Why are you getting so afraid? You're getting so fatumul. Just wait for Moshe to come down. He said he's coming down. He's coming down. Shevet Levi. They're the only ones.
And the women.
And the women, of course. Well, you will see after. It's not Dafka Shevet Levi. I don't want to give away the end. Shevet Levi. Moshe Rabbeinu comes down, and what happens? Moshe Rabbeinu comes down, he looks around, takes a luchos and smashes them, and what does he say? The famous words, Mi Lashem Elai. And who are the only ones who come? Who are the only ones who could come? Is Shevet Levi. Shevet Levi is the only one who could come. There's an interesting story. Rav Shimon Schwab, before he was going to become a Rav in Germany, there's a lot of problems with reform back then, so he wants to get a bracha from the Chafetz Chaim. He had a close relationship with him. The Chafetz Chaim was much older at that time. And he goes into the Chavetz Chaim. He says, I'm going to Germany to become Rav, and I would like a bracha, please, from the Chavetz Chaim. So Chavetz Chaim looks at him. He says, are you a Kohen? He said, no. He said, oh, really? He said, why not? He said, because my father wasn't. He said, really? Oh, okay. You a Levi? He said, no. He said, why not? He said, because my father wasn't. He said, really? He wasn't? Said, you know why your father wasn't a Levi? And you know why you're not a Levi? You know why his grandfather wasn't a Levi? Because 3,300 years ago, when Moshe Rabbeinu came down from that har and he said, Mila Hashem Elai, my great-great-great-great-grandfather came and yours didn't. He told him, you're going to Germany now, and you're going to have problems there. And then once again, Hashem's going to say, Mila Hashem Elai. Don't miss it a second time. Do the right thing. Do what has to be done. And this is Levi. Levi comes against the tide of all society, against the pressures of everybody. Mila Hashem Elai, the only one who's willing to come is Levi. The only one who could come is Levi. And because of that, what's Levi Zeicha to? The Kahuna. There's Zeicha to everything. There's Zeicha to all the brachas. If you see in V'zayis HaBracha, what Moshe tells them, because they weren't Chayte. Where's Shimon? Where has Shimon gone? Right? We don't hear about Shimon anymore. There's one more time in the Torah that we hear about Shimon, and it's not such a pleasant story. That's right. The end of the parsha is Balak, and Bilam is trying to curse out Klal Yisrael, but it's just not going. His last bracha is Matov Alecha Yaakov Mishkan Yisecha Yisrael. How could I curse out the Yidden when every single home is a Mishkan? How could I do that? I know how. Break down the Kedusha of the home. I have to get them to be Chayte, break down that Kedusha. Then I'll be able to get them. So what does he do? He gets all the Moav and the Midian people to be maskim. They get their daughters to come out, and the women come out and cause Klal Yisrael to be Chayte with them, and eventually they get them to serve Avodah Zarah. And everybody's involved in this. And most of the people who are Chayte are from Shevet Shimon. And Moshe sees this and he done. Everybody's Mechuyev Misa. Everybody's Mechuyev Misa. And then all of a sudden, a plague starts. And what happens? The Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us, Rashi points it out, Shevet Shimon goes to who? Their Nasi. Zimri ben Salu. Zimri ben Salu, who the Gemara says is Shlumiel ben Tzurishadai, who according to some shittas is also none other than Shaul ben Aknanis. Who's Shaul ben Aknanis? Shaul ben Aknanis was the son of Shimon and Dinah. Shaul ben Aknanis came down to Mitzrayim with Yaakov Avinu. He's about 250 years old by now. And he's a great sage. Picture any gadol that you know of, and they come to him and they say, Rebbe, you have to help us out. Look what's happening. There's a Magefa. Moshe Rabbeinu is dying. For me, everybody's dying. You have to help us. All for one. We're Achim. All for one for all. You have to help us here. The Gemara says they're dying in the fashas, and you're sitting here doing nothing. You have to help us out. What should he have said back then? What does a good brother say back then? I'd love to help you out, but what can I do? You didn't have error. You got to do tshuva now. You got to fix yourself up. Stop what you're doing. But what does he do? He says, no. I'll help you out. I'll jump in with you. And he goes and he takes Kozbi Bas Tzur. She's a princess. And he takes her for his own immoral purposes. Picture this yourself. Any god, I said before, any gadol you put in. And then he comes to Moshe Rabbeinu. And he says, Moshe, this mutter is this aser. And if you tell me it's aser, who let you marry your wife? And Gemara said, halacha. They forgot the halacha. And they're all crying. They forgot the halacha. Who was the only one at that point who said, what's going on over here? What's happening? What's going on? It's none other than Pinchas, who's from Aaron, who's from Levi. Pinchas at this point is not an old person. Pinchas is a relatively young person. And Pinchas says, Moshe, what's going on over here? Right? Is it not halacha? Kanoim pagim by? So I said, yeah, you got to do it. So he takes a spear, he goes in, and he kills a 250-year-old Nasi of Klal Yisrael. Can you imagine this? And the Magefa stops. But the Gemara says that they weren't content. They wanted to kill Pinchas. Who told you to do that, kid? Who told you to go do that? Who told you that was the right thing to do? They didn't like Pinchas. However, again, we see this message. The only one who is able to stand up to what everybody else is doing, it's Echad B'Dairei, is Pinchas, is Levi. He's the only one who's able to say, that's it, this is wrong. I can't do it. I'm not going to help you out. Helping you out does not mean doing what everybody else is doing. Helping you out means telling you what you're doing wrong. Chanukah. Just past Chanukah, right? The matzav of the Yidden was not so great at that time. The Ramban in Parshas Vayechi says, if not for the Chashmonaim, Torah and mitzvahs would have been forgotten from Klal Yisrael. Torah and mitzvahs forgotten from Klal Yisrael, what happens? the world goes to smithereens, right? In Lo Brisi Yamam V'Layla Chukos Shamayim V'Aretz L'Samti, and the Gemara says, if not, and Reb Chaim Belashner goes on with this, if there wouldn't be Torah learning for 1 second, the entire world would just go back to Tohu Vavohu. There wouldn't be anything left. So we're talking end of the world, proportions here, implications. So who are the only ones to stand up? The Chashmonaim. What are they standing up to? The great Greek philosophy, the great Greek war against the Jews. What's the great Greek war against the Jews? So he's saying, Ufartzu chamis migdalai, vitimu kol hashmanim. They poked holes in my wall of my fortress, and they were metame all the shmanim. So what does this mean? What's this wall that they poked holes in? So Chazal tells us that there's something in the Beis Hamikdash called the serug, which was what? Little itty bitty tiny fence. What was its job? Just a separation. Goyim till here, no more. Only Jews can go further on. This is the only point where Goy can go. Beyond this point is only Yidden. No. You want to make a difference between us two? There's absolutely no difference, said the Greeks. There's no difference between us. Don't act like you're different. They wanted to create pierces, the openings in that wall. Philosophical openings. Break down the barriers that separate a Yid and separate a Goy. What were they guys against? Milah, Rosh Chodesh, Shabbos, Torah. These things make us different. You're different, you're no different. V'timu kol hashmanim. Why did they go after the oil? Why were they time of the oil? To stop the menorah from being lit? Now, we have a concept. Tuma is putra b'tzibur. If there's a chiyuv on the tzibur to do something, and the oil was tameh, they were still allowed to use it. They were still allowed to burn that menorah. Right? Why are they only, if you want to destroy the mitzvah menorah, either break the menorah or spill out all the oil? What are you doing? Just being metameh? That's all you're doing? No, you don't understand. What's oil? And the Beis Halevi even alludes to this back there. Oil never mixes. Oil, if you notice, if you put it in, I know some people do this, they pour water into the menorah and they pour oil on top. Oil never mixes. It always rises to the top. Right? That's why in some salad dressings they have to put in some ingredients that makes it stick down. Because it always separates. It never stays on. This is what a Yid is. A Yid is, I'm separate. I'm not like the Goyim. And they were saying, Fakert, Timu Kolashman, you want to be Matama, that philosophy. You're no different than us. Stop being different. Be like us. The only ones, and a lot of Jews fell prey to this. Who are the only ones who stood up to this philosophy, said, no, this is wrong. 13 Chashmonaim B'nai Levi, Kayanim. Levi, once again, has the ability to stand up and say, this is wrong. This is not how we're supposed to be living our life. They fought an impossible battle, as we discussed before. 13 Yidden going against at least 20,000 trained Greek soldiers. An impossible battle. But no, we have to stand up. This is wrong. This is not how things should be going. L'Doris, we have this message also. Yirmiyah Hanavi was a Kohen. Yirmiyah Hanavi was not so popular amongst the Jews. He was telling them, do tshuva, I'm telling you, the unthinkable is going to happen. It's going to happen if you don't do tshuva. I'm pleading with you, just change. Do the right thing. They didn't like Yirmiyah. They threw him in jail. They threw him in prison. This again, a Kohen. Yirmiyah is a Kohen. He has the ability to stand up to the tides of society and say, this is not right. This is not what we should be doing. Now let's get to the page 5. Now everybody might be thinking, okay, this is a nice message if you're a Kohen or a Levi. But, if I'm a Yisrael, what does that have to do with me? So I'd like to say that I'll bring you one example, a couple examples. This does not only apply to Shevet Levi. This applies to every single person sitting in this room. Every single person in this room has the ability to stand up and make the right decisions in life and say, this is wrong. What everybody else is doing is not the right thing. And I don't care that's what everybody else is doing. But I know I have to do the right thing. And the right thing sometimes hurts and sometimes it kills me to do it. But I have to make that decision. I have to do the right thing. Many, many years ago, there was a Yid who literally stood up for his Yahadus. And who was that? It was none other than Mordechai HaYehudi. Right? Mordechai HaYehudi. Let's go to the Medrash. The Medrash, if you look at that little dot, the Medrash in the middle, in the first couple of prakim on page 5. Achashverosh puts up a sign, everybody should come to my feast. All B'nai Shushan, come. Everybody come dine with me for 7 days. Be a great feast. What happens? You look over there, it says like this. Kevin Shara Mordechai Kaf. Mordechai saw this. What did he see? It says before that Haman came to Achashverosh and said, I know how to get rid of the Jews. You set up a feast, you get them drunk, you get, do the same thing that Bilam did. You get the women involved, you'll be able to get them. Mordechai knew this. When he saw that sign go up on the wall, when he saw that Pashkevili go up, and it said, come join the king, What did he say? Amad v'hichriz alehem. He went and he announced to all the Jews. V'amar lahem, lo telchu lechol b'sudasa shel Achashverosh. Do not go to eat from that suda. Why? Shelo hizvin eschem ki'im l'lamed alechem kategoria. Kidei she'apischon peh im midas hadin l'kachig alechem l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm telling you the only reason. There's one reason why this suda is going on. It's to get us. It's so that the Satan can prosecute us in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and get us destroyed. Anybody listen to him? Medrash says, "V'lo yishamu l'divrei Mordechai." Not one person listened to Mordechai. V'halchu kulam lebeis hamishte. Mordechai, what do you want? Stop being a fanatic over here. Now stop being such a religious zealot here. What are you doing? The king is inviting us to his palace. We're not going to go. What are they going to say about us? What are they going to do to us? And Mordechai gave that same response. I'm telling you, don't go. And what are they going to say? They're going to say the same thing that they always say about us. Whether we go or whether we don't go. It's the unfortunate truth. But they all went. They didn't listen. Amar Rabbi Yishmael, Shmoina Asar Elef Achamish Me'os Holchul Beis Hamishte. 18,500 people went to this feast. V'achlu, v'shasu, v'nishtakru, v'niskalkalu. They ate, they drank, they were merry, got drunk, v'niskalkalu. They were makulkal. What that means, use your imagination to a point. Alright? Decide what you want to say, that there was a kilkal, or the yain nesach, let's say. The yain nesach, or maybe not. He had Mordechai pour that stuff. Anyways, what happened? What was the reality of the situation? Miyad, immediately, Amad Satan v'hilshan aleim l'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Satan got up and he blasted us. V'amar l'fanav Ribbonei Shalom ad masai tidbak v'umazu. How long are you going to stick with this nation? She'em afrishin levavam ve'emunasim mimcha. Their hearts and their emunah, they're always running away from you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is it. They're not coming to do tshuva anymore. They're finished with you. They're done with you. And the Medrash goes on to say how HaKadosh Baruch Hu Taka said, bring me a Megillah, and he wrote on Megillah, we were lahashmi laharag la'abed. That's it. We were finished. The Avos didn't want to help us out. By the Beis HaMikdash, the Avos were willing to daven for us, even though it didn't help. The Medrash tells us that the Ma'aseh Purim, they said, that's it. We're not stepping in. We're not helping out. Who was the only one who stood up to this? This is Mordechai. Mordechai wasn't from Shevet Levi. Mordechai was a Yid who was able to stand up and say, this is wrong. This is not the right thing. This is not what should be happening right now. There's a story that Rabbi Arlovsky told. I think it's a great story. With Rabbi Marvin Heyer, who used to be a Rav in Vancouver, I think. And now he's, I think, one of the heads of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. And he said way back when he was Rav in Vancouver, so the Queen came to visit Vancouver, and he was, they invited all the dignitaries and the chashva people in Vancouver to come feast with the Queen. So they sent him a letter, invitation. He said, "I'm sorry, I can't go." So they called him up. The Queen's advanced, party. They call him up. Excuse me, the Queen was going to be so disappointed if you don't come. Yeah, why aren't you coming? So he said, "Well, look, I only eat kosher, and this is not going to be a kosher event." So they said, "Okay, look, is there anybody who you would trust?" For the event, and you would come. So he said, "Yeah, Rabbi, so-and-so is a mashgiach. We trust him. If he's fine, we'll hire him. Everything, but you'll come. Fine, I'll come." So Vayhi Ayom, he comes to the banquet, and he goes to where his seat is, and he sees all the dishes are the same. Everything's the same, and he's wondering, there must be some mistake. So he, he's sitting down. He's not sure. He's not doing anything. The mashgiach comes running out. He said, "Rabbi, you would not believe what they made me do. They made me go out and buy all new dishes to match everybody, all the same. Yours, look underneath. It's got a sticker underneath. These are your dishes. These are yours. I toiveled them. Don't worry. The pots and pans, they made me get everything new. I toiveled them myself. All the food I brought in, I did everything myself. Unbelievable." Fine. Gewaldig. So he sits down and he starts eating. And in the middle, they dim the lights. So what's going on? He tells the next person next to him, what's going on over here? He said, "You've never been to a royal banquet before?" He said, "No, this is my first time, actually." So they said, well, what they do is here, they dim the lights, and everybody goes to a different table so that you can go meet somebody else. Right? Everybody can meet each other, right? So it's like, okay. So where am I supposed to go? Check your place card. Okay, so fine. Goes to the next table, looks underneath, no sticker. All right, everybody just think for a second what you would do in this situation. Don't say, "I don't want to hear," but just think what you would do. So he goes back to his table, takes his dishes, puts them all like this, carries it over, puts it down, takes the other setting, puts it back. Now, supposedly at these queens' banquets, they use rulers, like for the forks to see how far apart and how far off the table. I guarantee you, he did not have a ruler on and start measuring out. But he puts it back on the table, and he takes it, he puts it down, and he sets up his own thing. This is an 8-course meal. And from course to course, he picks up his dishes, he goes to the next thing, puts it down, that. Another prominent Jew who was standing there comes over and says, "Would you stop this? You're embarrassing everybody. Everybody's looking at you doing this." He's like, "Well, what do you want? I only eat kosher. What do you want?" He said, "So don't come, go home." He said, "Yeah, but they went through so much trouble." He said, "Well, just stop it already. This is embarrassing." Well, he didn't think it was nice to leave. They went through all this trouble to, get all the dishes and everything else. So, no, what can I do? And from the next couple of courses, he still takes his stuff and puts it down. At the end of the meal, there's a line which goes in front. You pass by the queen, Charlie, and you have to wave to the prince and then the queen, right? You can't shake their hand. So he's walking by, he's all he's all embarrassed. And Charles says to him, "Excuse me, but I couldn't help but notice that you're taking your dishes from seat to seat." He's like, "Well, yes, because I keep kosher." He's like, "Well, I was under the impression, I understand you're head of the thing, you're the head of the church in England," and so he's a little bit educated on religion, a little bit. So he says, "But I'm under the impression that only applies to the food." So he says, "Well, no, it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's the dishes also, and then the voice from the back says, the guy leading, telling everybody to go, we have to keep the procession going." So what can they do? Charles takes his hand, pulls him up onto the platform, and they continue this conversation about Hilchos Kashrus. And as Orlovsky puts it, so you have the Queen, and you have Charles, and you have Rabbi Heyer. Nice to meet you. That's what you have in this procession over here. And they're having this whole conversation. This other Jew walks by, this prominent Jew, and he's trying to, he's waving. Charles says, "Yes." It's like, "But I'm also Jewish." So he looks at him and goes, "But I didn't see you taking your dishes around." Now, what would we have done in that situation? How many of us would have said, "No, it's all right, don't go through a bother," or would have come and said, "Do I have a stomachache? I just can't eat, I can't do anything." This is somebody who had the fortitude to say, "No, the right thing is what? I have to keep kashrus. My standards are my standards. What are they going to say about it? What else are they going to say about it? That's not my cheshbon. My cheshbon is to do the will of the Rebbeinu Shalom." Look, we don't have to go that far back. A generation ago, when they came over from Europe, when some of our parents, some of our grandparents, etc., and they had a major test, a major nisayon. You don't come in tomorrow on Saturday, don't bother coming back on Monday. It's a tremendous nisayon. And there were those people who said, "Look, we need a living. We need to make a living. We have to. It's the new society. It's not just shtetl anymore. We can't. We got to go with American society. We got to, integrate ourselves with American society." But there were those Yidden who were able to say, "No, Shabbos is Shabbos," and they were able to come home and they were able to go to shul and sing Likra Shabbos L'chu B'Necha Ki Hi Mekar HaBracha. Shabbos is the Mekar HaBracha. Really, Shabbos is the Mekar HaBracha. You don't have a job anymore. But they're saying it was such simcha and such happiness that they were able to be Mekayim the Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hashem. And I think that this message is what the Rambam is saying. If you look on page 6, please. This is a very famous Rambam. It's quoted in yeshivas all the time. Something that you wake up a yeshiva, hopefully you wake up a yeshiva bacher in his sleep and you ask him, Rambam Sav Shemitah V'Yevel, and he'll be able to tell you, Lo Shev Levi Bilvad. The Rambam here is at the end in Halacha Yud Beis, which we're going to start. He wants to know like this: Why doesn't Levi get any nachla, any portion in Eretz Yisrael? Right? Levi only got the Ari Mikla. He doesn't really get any chelik in Eretz Yisrael per se. Rambam says like this. Look at these words. Shehuvdal la'avayid es Hashem u'lasharsay u'laharas d'rachav ha'yisharim u'mishpatav ha'tzadikim l'rabim. Because Levi was separated to serve Hashem and to teach the ways, the proper just ways of Hashem to the masses. Levi were the Rabbanim, the Rabbeim who taught, who gave over the Torah were Levi. And because they were Huvdal Lefikach, Huvdalu Midarchei Ha'olam, they were separated from the ways of the world. La'archin Milchama, they don't go to war, which everybody should think about when they think about the Ma'aseh of Chanukah. The Chashmonaim are B'nai Levi, who don't go fight wars. Think about that. They don't get anything. Elohim Chel Hashem. Shenema Baruch Hashem Chel. They are the army of Hashem. Levi separated himself. Levi was separate from everybody else. Levi separated himself, and therefore Levi are the transmitters of Torah. You know why? Because they're the only ones who can transmit Torah in its purest form. They're not influenced by any outside society, any outside influences. Levi gives over the Torah with the Messiah that they had going all the way back to Avraham Avinu. Straight down throughout the generations. They are the Rabbeim. So I might get Chalish Sadas, okay, so I shouldn't become a Rebbe, I shouldn't go and try to teach people because, it's not for me, I'm not from Levi. The Ram says like this, and then Halacha Yud Gimel. V'loi Shevet Levi Bavad, this does not only apply to Shevet Levi. Ela Kol Ish V'ish, Mikol Baya Olam Asher Not Varucha Yisai V'Hevinu Madai. Any person who has a spirit is lifted up a little bit. To what? Lehi Badel. It's a very interesting word in the Rambam. To separate. La'amay livnei Hashem l'sharsoi la'avdai. To serve Hashem, to stand before Hashem, to serve Him. L'deas Hashem v'halach yashar k'mosh asa Elokim. He goes straight. And not what? Uparak mi al tzavaroi oila cheshbonos haram asher bikshu b'nei Adam. He throws off from his shoulder these cheshbonos that the masses make. He doesn't say, what's going to be with this and what's going to be with that. And people tell him, Levi, how can you do this? What's going to be with society? Get with the program. Come into the new generation, the new millennium over here. We're not still back in Europe. Come on, Levi, what's wrong with you? No. This is Lo Shevet Levi Bilvad. Everybody has it in them. What happens? Everybody has it in them, this power to be separate and to throw off these cheshbonis. Harazenis Kaddish Kodesh Kadashim. The Rambam says, you are Kodesh Kadashim. Hashem should be your chelek forever. You'll get what you need in this world. Person will get exactly what he needs in this world, just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Mezakah the Kohanim and the Levim B'nai Levi. This is something that applies to every single person in this room. It applies to every single Yid. We might not all be physically from Shevet Levi, but we all have this Shevet Levi within us. Everybody has the ability. There are going to be times in life where a person has to come up and stand up to the truth of a situation and say, what people are doing is wrong. Something wrong is going on. And if I fall to the pressure, I'm going to go with it. And I'm also going to do something wrong. I can't do that. I'm a Yid. I do what's right. I do what the Torah tells me. If I need to know something in my business, is this right or wrong? We have a Shulchan Aruch. If I don't know the halacha, I'll go to my Rav and I'll ask my Rav, what do I do about this? What do I do about this? The money I make for if something goes against halacha, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. No amount of money, no matter how small, no matter how big. This is Shevet Levi. This is the tale of the two brothers, Shimon and Levi. How we don't hear from Shimon ever again, except for that one time, because Shimon falls prey to the pressures of society. Everybody's doing it, so I'll go in with it. And Levi is able to stand above. And remember, Shevet Levi Bilvad. Everybody in this room has this kayach. And Mirza Hashem, we should use this kayach. The end.